I'm hoping that we're going live. It seems we're about to go live, and it says we're live. Brad and everyone, welcome to this episode of the Level With Us Livecast. I am your host, Marco DeSantos, also known as Mechanic Rick, and with me is my ever amazing, ever sweatered, ever collared, wonderful co-host.
I guess I am ever sweatered. How many streams have I worn this sweater on?
I don't know. Fans, please tell us.
Well,
Everyone,
anyway, yeah, Brad Talton, nice to be here with you again, Marco. And yeah, I think we can both agree we need haircuts this time around.
right?
I'm late for mine.
I'm
Did you say that on the stream? I remember you saying earlier you wanted a haircut.
Yeah.
And
I didn't say it on stream, but yes, I do indeed.
oh, you didn't. Okay,
Yeah,
right. Sorry.
I do need
The
a
stream
haircut.
world and the off-stream world are like all flow together for me.
Yeah, it's like Shadowrun, the Matrix or whatever.
The Matrix, yeah.
Yeah. It's very weird because a haircut here is pretty cheap, pretty simple, and pretty clean. When you walk away, they don't hear me say it's expensive because a haircut for me would cost $2.
Really? Wow.
$2 American, baby.
$2 American. Jeez. Okay, we pay like 10 times that much in America.
$20 for a haircut, dude? What?
Well, between 10 and 20 depending. But you're supposed to tip your
Right.
haircutter as well.
The $2 is
And
with
so once
tip.
you're tipping, yeah.
No, the $2 is with tip.
Oh, with tip. Oh, so you guys do tip over there.
Yeah. We're very American.
Oh,
We
okay.
tip at restaurants. We tip at barbers. We.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like
I didn't think that was common in Asia, but I guess since the Philippines is very Americanized.
Right. We were a colony for a for a
Yeah.
decent bit. All right. So Ruby asks. Oh wow, we're getting into the questions right now. But before we get into more questions, let's. Brad, how are you? And like, I need to talk. Like, it's
doing
like
okay.
I've seen
Things
you
are-
last
things are
week.
all right.
I saw you last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, I'm really just trying to recover from all the time off so that I can get back to work. You
can
know
get-
how it is, like when you're away from the office for a while, and you come back and you're in this dreamlike state. That's kind of how I felt.
Right. It's kind of like you lose all of your inertia, and then now you have to build it up again.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So I'm getting back into the daily swing of things.
How about you ask me how I'm doing, Brad?
Nah, I'll pass. Let's go on
Dang.
to the questions.
All right, let's go to the questions. Ruby,
No, how are you doing, Marco?
I
How was your trip home?
Oh gosh, not great. I would say. Oh my god.
Oh no, did you lose your luggage again?
No, this time they didn't lose my luggage, and I didn't get held up at TSA or anything. So that's pretty good. The problem was that
How did your family like the biscochitos?
oh they like it. It's like they were like, this is cinnamon. It's like a how do I explain it? There's a Filipino dessert that tastes a bit like it, so it's pretty cool. I can't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't name the dessert right now because it's just like maybe it's not even Filipino. Maybe it's just like it's like American or Eastern European cookies. They kind of taste like that, but with cinnamon flavor on top. So
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got caught in the delay and I interrupted you. You were saying about your travel adventures.
no. The travel adventures are pretty interesting. So for people who don't know, to travel all the way from the Philippines to the U.S. is a long series of flights, especially with like all the travel bans going everywhere. A lot of the connecting flights that I would usually take are just not available. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty rough because no airline goes straight from my country to New Mexico. So I had to.
How many jumps did you do?
I had to go to Japan, then from Japan to Dallas, and from Dallas to New Mexico. So that was
Okay.
3 flights. In total, I was on an airplane for like 3 hours, then 4 hours, and then like 13 hours. That's like 20-hour times, and then like between each of those flights was like 3 hours layover. So it's pretty rough. I tried sleeping on a
Yeah.
correct schedule, but it's so my grogginess is actually jet lag. I've been falling asleep and not waking up sometimes. It's pretty rough.
Man. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right.
You can see I'm a bit tired too. So
Yeah, but it's okay, Brad. You know what will
we're
revitalize
tired
us?
bros together.
Tired bros. But we're here to answer your questions for shows. Let's move on to the first question. Ruby Walters asks, Brad, are you printing any more Pixel Tactics? I think we have Legends up right now, right?
Yeah, we just released Legends, and we're going to see how the sales of Legends do, and that's going to guide our decisions in the future. But I would like to print more Pixel Tactics. I would really like to do another imprint like we did with Mega Man Pixel Tactics. I think that it makes for a nice crossover series.
This Gaia Pixel Tactics.
Yeah, this guy at Pixel Tactics would be super. Like that'd be a lot of fun. But we'll see where it takes us. I'm not opposed to doing another Pixel Tactics, but I think if we do, we don't want to do, because Pixel Tactics Legends is basically Pixel Tactics 6, right? It's more characters, same formula. I think if we did another Pixel Tactics, we might want to try something a little more outlandish, like say, I don't know, Pixel Tactics Legacy, or Pixel Tactics, like Pixel Tactics Forge or something.
Pixel Tactics the MOBA.
Yeah, something like that. Like things that are change the formula up a little bit.
It's a transformation of the game as opposed to just more of the same, right? We've made like 6, 7, or 8 Pixel Tactics depending on whether or not you count the Mega Mans, right? So it's a decent number of them.
We've explored a lot of space, and I think that when if you want that experience, you can play Pixel Tactics, but we might want to give players a slightly different experience in a future box.
Right.
And so having a some kind of different way to play would be really cool. Like one thing we considered was actually like a PvE Pixel Tactics, where you one or two players play against a monster, right?
Yeah.
That has their own deck of attacks or something. So things have been talked about.
Right. I've can I say that that's pretty interesting, and that I designing bosses would be really cool. Some fans have designed some bosses, so I think that's pretty awesome. Hi Jim. Hey, it's Jim Garner. Jim Garner made all of those cool Imperial references. So if your games,
excellent.
If your games of Imperial have been going pretty smoothly, I believe that's Jim's fault. So blame Jim or thank Jim.
We would normally say that's thanks to Jim, not Jim's fault.
This is all Jim's fault.
It's nobody's fault when things go well.
Yeah, that's fair. Hi Ferdinand. Ferdinand's here. Flight 15.
Hey, welcome.
10 more flights and you hit Minato tier airlines.
Yeah.
No, stop.
Welcome to Minato Airlines.
Jim says that they went from Baltimore to California and had that many stops, including one in Dallas too. Hopefully none of your flights were 15 hours, because that's awful. Lowen asks, hey, what fighting games do y'all play?
Oh, what do we play, Marco? So you can't see it here. I've got this Psychic Force 2012 poster on my wall, and the dream is to someday acquire Psychic Force 2012 from Square Enix, and add it to our list of properties.
Oh man. Okay. So we isn't that just so you want to make a shmup fighting game is basically what you're saying?
No, not really. I mean, I guess there's some kind of shmup elements to it where you're free flying, but it's not quite as crazy as something like Acceleration of Sagiri.
Okay, I don't know any of these things you're talking about. I just want a Dragon Ball fighting game. So,
well, they have those.
Yeah, I just want one for us.
I see.
Yeah.
I think that a free flying head-to-head game would be really cool.
Yeah,
I had a design for one a decade ago, but I don't think it panned out too well.
I see.
The thing is that there's so many in games that are particle games. There's so many autonomous effects going on that it is very difficult to represent them in a state-based system. Does that make sense? Because
because you would have to do the upkeep yourself, and that's terrible.
Right. Yeah. The load on the human operator is really huge.
See, what we need to therefore do, Brad, is create a game system that automates it by simply here's my next level strats, Brad. It's a vertical board, and the bullets just drop because of gravity.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. One thing that you could do is, of course, so you could have a say like a cup, and you put cubes and bullets and whatever you want into the cup, and then your opponent's characters are just sitting out on the field across from you, and you dump the attack onto their table, and it spreads out, and that's how you deal damage.
That's cool. And then what's in the cup is what you take as damage or something?
Is basically what your weapon was, right? Like if you had a shotgun, you'd have a bunch of large heavy cubes, and if you had a sniper rifle, you might have one small cube that can be moved around once it hits the table, stuff like that.
Oh, see, that's interesting. See, maybe we should just do more of these dexterity-esque games.
A dexterity-based fighting game.
That would be pretty cool, right?
It could. It's certainly something that hasn't been done yet. Right,
and it's all about originality in this industry. But what fighting games did we play when we were at your house, right? Wait, can we say that?
Oh, yeah.
Does that accidentally reveal some secret tech, or were we just playing
No,
for fun?
we played a ton of games. I mean, we played Smash, we played Melty Blood.
Oh, we played Chaos Code.
We played Chaos Code. Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
Chaos Code is amazing.
The character designs in Chaos Code are insane. There's like a chef guy, and I was like, oh, this is a cool chef guy, and he's like really buff and stuff. And then I started playing him, and I was like, this is just Zangief with cooking. Like, he literally even has lariat. So I was like, what is happening? Crazy. We played what else? We played Under Night.
Played some Under Night.
Yeah, I ended up liking what's his name again? Enkidu. Yeah.
Yeah, Enkidu. Man, they just so much. Like, it's so oppressive to fight against.
I'm sorry, Brad's probably hating on me right now.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. What else? What else did we play?
We played. Does Overcooked count? That's not a fighting game though.
Overcooked is not super close. That's the opposite of a fighting game. That is actually a cooperation game.
Right. What if we're fighting?
I mean, honestly, mostly we played like Jackbox Party Pack. I think that was most of our game time.
That's fair.
It's when you got 8 people sitting around.
Yeah, Dictionarium's pretty fun.
That kind of game.
Right? Mm-hmm. We created a new word and added it to the Level 99 Games lexicon. We should really use that for a boost and exceed or a card in Battlecon.
Interrogank?
Interrogank. Brad made this word. It's great. Interrogank is to question someone suddenly from behind.
No, I didn't make that one. I don't know who did.
You made the synonym, right? You made
to
the synonym.
Suddenly quiz someone from behind.
Right. Suddenly interrogate. What a great name. Let's move on to some questions more. What's Brad's Exceed main now that Red Horizon has rotated?
Exceed main, huh? I have Sea Viper.
Sea Viper. Brad plays Yu-Gi-Oh! Confirmed. Okay, setting aside what's feasible, what would be the dream properties to work with for Exceed, Pixel Tactics, etc.? Exceed, it's Smash, right? Like, just by default, if we get Smash for Exceed, we're done.
Yeah, I mean, Smash would be an amazing thing. Smash isn't really a property, though. The only characters in Smash are Master Hand and Crazy Hand, really.
Technically, Mii Brawler, Mii Fighter, do they count?
Yeah, they do, too. Yeah. So it would be a pretty small season if we got actually the license to Smash and none of the other things that are part of it. But honestly, I don't really have a dream season. I think I like to do cool things, and so any season that gives us the opportunity to explore cool new mechanics is something that I would be excited about. I really enjoyed Red Horizon because it gave us a blank canvas to explore the system.
Yeah.
And so I would kind of say that at this point my dream season would be to finally do Indians, or to finally do something else, another original property that we have.
Brings a tear to my eye, Brad. Yes, please give me Joel.
Indians Shippuden.
Indians Shippuden, dude. I already have a design for Exceed Joel. Okay, he just has 10 specials.
See, I wanted to like, if I do an Exceed Indians, I would want to like advance the clock like 10 years, and so you're playing with the younger cast that's now grown up. People like Clive and Rixia.
Well, Clive wouldn't grow up; he's a robot.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, right?
Right.
Eric, like, there would be kind of a new school.
Old Eric, like 20-something-year-old
Eric.
Yeah. Oh, baby, imagine. Oh man, maybe he's competent now. We'll see. Asymmetric pixel tactics setups are pretty cool. Charles Butler says, I'd love to see Level 99 games do more solo co-op games. Well, just wait until we're done with a few more projects and you can get 7th Cross.
Yeah. We do have some co-op designs in the works, and they haven't been announced yet, but we have a lot of games where you can play cooperatively against bosses. It's not just 7th Cross.
Yeah, that's fair. A dexterity-based fighting game, so fencing. Technically, all fighting games are dexterity-based.
Well, all fighting is dexterity-based.
Right.
Not all fighting games are dexterity-based.
That's fair.
But I think that anyway.
Right.
I guess it depends on what you truly consider to be a fighting game. Because I think more people would say Exceed is a card game than a fighting game. It's really a card game that simulates what fighting games do.
Right. That's fair. Jim asks, any chance of being able to order non-gummy bear colored ghost trains for Imperial spells in Steam? Or at least the 3D file for it so that we can 3D print some. I think some people don't like the gummy. They want it to
Don't
be
like
clear.
the.
They want it to be clear instead of like
Yeah,
dirty
that's
yellow.
I mean, that's kind of what it has to be for them to glow in the dark, right? That glow in the dark material is a little bit yellowish, and that's why it turned out like that.
Right, right. But if you turn off the lights, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can give out our 3D files for those, unfortunately.
Oh, sorry. Is Overcooked season 5?
Overcooked season 5. I mean, if you want the Overcooked board game, just play. Oh, what's it called? It's Kitchen Rush. Kitchen Rush is the Overcooked board game, and it's a worker placement game where your workers are actually sand timers, and so when you move one, you have to flip them over, and then only when they've run out, they finish their task, and you can move them somewhere else.
That's really interesting. Oh,
yeah.
Jim says they glow in the dark? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark?
They're supposed to.
All right, they're supposed to glow in the dark. Charles Butler says they'd main Master Hand, and Daniel says he'd main Crazy Hand. Guarantee that Crazy Hand is a wild swinger. Bold of you to assume that he's a wild swinger. The season mechanic for Indians is that Marco does the balance. Oh. Okay. Here's my balance.
Come on, Marco.
Everyone wild swing.
You have to make Eric before you can make I don't know who else. New Joel.
New Joel? We just get Joel and Vanna's kid, right?
I guess.
Right?
I mean, Joel is the new Joel for BattleCon is pretty cool.
Ah, new Joel
is the status effects instead of yeah.
New Joel is like is my love. I love him a lot. For people who don't know, what New Joel does is that each of his weapons now essentially, when he whacks you with them, he gets a bonus effect for the next turn. So he literally combos his weapons together. It's really interesting. I really like it.
Yeah, it's a fun paradigm.
Yeah. First party art IP, maybe more Seventh Cross, maybe, but only if Brad gives me my Mananang girl, which Brad seems to.
Mananang girl.
It's Manananggal, but it's a girl. It has to be Manananggals are all girls, so it has to be a girl, right?
That's a great reason to make it a guy.
Manananggay. Ooh.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
You have to flip the script, Marco. That's
subversion.
Kind of the whole point of the IP is subversion.
Subversion. I like that. Hey, to be fair, yeah, it is. Yeah. It is all about subversion. So a Manananggal would be pretty interesting. Imperial /Exceed featuring ASDF movie. I like trains, and then a train comes in and runs over the guy. Way to bury the lead. By the way, you could make a unique, less detailed train. Oh, okay. I think Jim's just saying, can we get like just any train so that we can print more? Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like, if you want to talk about like getting files from us, that's the kind of thing to talk about separately.
Not on the show.
Than on the stream. Yeah, in general, we don't want to give out raw resources to that'll get posted on the internet. So
right. Which is this also applies to this other thing where people always ask me, "Hey Marco, when can we get templates for Street Fighter so that we can make our custom Street Fighter characters for Exceed?" The answer is I don't know whether we're allowed to release that kind of stuff, right, Brad? Like,
well, the graphic designs are our own property, so we could release them.
Okay, do you want to?
I don't know, because you get to that point because there actually is a Street Fighter Exceed, and if somebody say makes like Charlie and they make their own custom Charlie and they post it online, somebody will see that and they'll be like, well, where do I buy Charlie? And then they'll get to our store and they won't be able to find this character and they'll get confused or sad or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't and also eventually we want to make some more characters.
Okay.
So
are we actually like there's no date on that, right? Like we want to, but like there's no time frame on that. I want to make it very clear, right? That when we say we want to make more, it doesn't mean they're the next season or the season after that. It just means
no, look, like I mean we're just talking here, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's not in a press release somewhere, don't quote me on it. Okay?
All right. All right. Jim says, sorry, we're right. No need to be sorry. We're just asking some questions. By the way, they're testing the ghost trains and they do not glow in the dark, Brad. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. I might, oh, wow.
All right, we you
Well, then
definitely.
why are they such a weird color?
Oh no, we need to talk to the.
Now I'm upset.
Uh oh. Jackie
You
asks if
think?
yeah
Yeah.
was it? I don't know.
No, go ahead.
Is this something you have to talk to with the production people or something? Not our
No,
production people.
I think it's too late to bother with it. But I am kind of wondering why they weren't. I think maybe. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't come out in frosted then. I thought it was so that they could glow in the dark, and now I'm sad on air.
Oh no, Brad. To distract you, Sailor Moon Exceed when?
That is I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question.
I
I
love
mean,
Sailor Moon
it'd
too.
be an awesome fan project too.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, imagine all the cards all pretty and pink and shiny. Ah, I love that.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
love.
I don't know, and Jackie would have to answer this for me, but I think even when you get the Sailor Moon license, they don't just let you take a bunch of screen caps from the anime, do they?
Oh, I don't know
So,
anything about that.
so in that sense, it might need to be a fan project. I
Oh,
don't know.
I see. I see.
Right. Like they may, because especially with these older animations, the gallery of art that you're allowed to use is not that robust.
Right, right. Especially because a lot of old screen caps and old anime don't necessarily hold up right now. Um,
Yeah, like the like when and we talked about this a little bit when we went to Licensing Expo last year, that some of the Exceeded is pretty art intensive, with each character needing anywhere between 9 and 16 pieces of art.
yeah.
And so like, and with the older animes, the studios don't want you to just take screen caps because there's real, yeah, they just don't hold up as well. You're right.
Yeah, and you might get a
So
bad frame too, right? And it's
right, and so they just give you a couple pictures that you're able to use.
right. If this were more like a board game wherein you only need art for the character card and maybe like a 3D model for a mini, maybe that would work. But Exceed is a very different kind of game, right?
Yeah.
Therefore, we need to make Sailor Moon BattleCon. Is the is the answer? Big brain
I see.
players.
Yeah, Marco, there you go.
Ty asks, Did you all expect the current Exceed tournament to blow up so much? Yes and no. So as the community manager for Level 99 Games, I know our fans are, for a lack of a better term, rabid. Or they really love this game, you know. So I wasn't really surprised to see that there were a lot of people. What I was surprised by was that Taxi kept accepting entrants. That's really what I'm surprised by. Because the thing about it is that I've had to run some tournaments before, right? And for my old job, I used to run tournaments. Well, not run tournaments, but I used to be part of a team that runs tournaments for esports. And like even managing just 8 teams, which amounts to like what 30 people, is insanely hard, right? It's very difficult. So like when Taxi said it, there were like 90 something people. I was like, you are either very, very confident in your ability to be able to manage all these people, or you're just okay with people dropping, right? Like that's what came into my mind when it happened. So yes, on one end, I am quite shocked. On the other end, I am very, very impressed with Taxi's willingness to do it, and also trust in his ability to be able to. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the
Yeah.
doubt and say that he's already put in some systems and ways of managing things that make it easier for himself. And with that, good luck. And I'm really happy how big this thing has gotten. I mean, we sponsored it, so of course we're.
Yeah. Yeah, it's well, I think that a big part of it is that that we have good fans that are excited about the game, that can be trusted to do a lot of the legwork themselves. Like in an official tournament with a big cash prize on the line, you'd have to have judges present at every match, and you would have to ensure that players aren't cheating or that they aren't bribing one another, or all
Or
these different kinds of
collusion.
things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and but in a close knit community, there's a lot of trust, and there's a lot of, I guess I'd say, goodwill towards the other players, even though they are your fellow competitors.
Yeah, that's fair. I think overall it's less like we call it a tournament, and it is a tournament. And if you've watched any of the gameplay videos, it's actually like the commentary is actually pretty solid. I commentated a game or two too, um, and I think the really awesome thing about it is that it's less about like winning the cash prize, I think, and it's more just an excuse for people to get in together and play more games. And I think
Yeah.
that's the most fun part of it. Is you just get to play more games with more different kinds of people. So rather than playing like Marco, Daniel, and Reggie for the 20 millionth time, you get to play some other person, like maybe Ty. Maybe you've never played against Ty, right? It's pretty awesome. So there you go. Jim is confirming that they
Yeah.
do not glow in the dark, and he is confirming your irritation. Bon Magno asks, is that Magno or Magno? I'm not sure. If that's a Filipino name, tell me you're Filipino. Hi guys, for people living in Australia or overseas in general, will you start offering cheaper options? I'd love to buy more Exceed stuff, but $50 for each bundle set is super expensive. Brad, I live near that area. What are my options?
Well, the best thing that we can really do is to make a deal with a local distributor or with local store to stock the game. It's still expensive. I mean, it's just expensive, right? The games are here in America. They have to get to you over there, overseas, and so like it's gonna cost. Shipping is gonna cost. Somebody is gonna pay for it.
Right.
And if a lot of people in your country want want the game, then a store will pay for it, and they'll mark the game up a little bit accordingly. If so it's really more about it's. I don't want to say it's not so much about us, but the way that we would do it is to make the game more popular in your area. So it's certainly the kind of thing that we would need the help of the fans to do.
Right.
And especially if if you have connections to your local game stores, having game stores reach out to us directly, or even having them reach out to their distributors who reach out to us directly would be the best way. All of the Exceed seasons are available in general distribution, so that they can be purchased from us through Impressions Game Distribution Service, who's our agency.
Okay, cool.
So all that to say that the channels are open. It's more about convincing the distributors to buy and convincing the stores to buy.
Right. So basically, if you want the game, tell your FLGS so that they can tell their distributors so that the distributor can get it from us. Ultimately, is the point.
Yeah, and if the distributor won't do it, tell them to reach out to us directly, and we'll talk to your retailer and we'll make it happen.
Right. So if you want to send them a message or something, level99games.com/contact us, the contact form. If somebody in the chat, Brad, can you link it?
-us.
Yeah, can you link them, Brad? Because if I change my screen, it'll.
I'm not even watching the chat. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
We'll put it in the show notes.
All right, I'll put it in the description of this VOD, so people who need it will find it.
Yeah, and even here in America, I think it's a similar problem. There's so many games coming out, right? Like tens of thousands of games coming out a year. Retailers really won't notice a game unless the customer comes up to the counter and says, "Hey, I'm really interested in this game." And so, if you are the kind of player who frequents a local game store, the best way to get an Exceed community built is to have Exceed on the shelf in that store. And the best way to get Exceed on the shelf in that store is to have your retailer reach out to us. And because a lot of the distributors just, they'll have it 1 month and it'll be gone the next. We will always have it in stock.
Right, because we made it.
Yeah.
Jackie says screen caps are fine via approval. So there you go. It's going to be really hard, though. It's still going to be really hard because, especially if it's Sailor Moon. I'm not saying Sailor Moon.
It depends on the company, right? Like Yacht Club was really cool. They even let us draw their own things.
Yeah,
they were kind of like, do whatever you want. It's cool. Other companies work with like Capcom when we did Street Fighter. They just they were like, no, these are the arts you get. You can't use screen caps. You can't use any kind of in-game content. You can use the art books by Udon, and you can use our key images, and that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
So it was a very different tone. But what I mean is that each licensor has their own different tone.
Makes sense. Right? It makes sense.
One licensor I even worked with said, you can do new art, but you have to hire our artists as contractors. So we had to buy the art from them.
That was
and
wild.
It would also remain their property after the project was done.
Yeah, not a good deal, I guess. Pretty rough.
I mean, it's okay, but at that point, why not create an original IP?
Yeah, or just make Indians or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Given that TTS exists, sorry, Jonathan Butler asks, given that TTS exists, would you ever consider a more streamlined BattleCon online-like experience for Exceed? That's a really
Yeah,
interesting.
actually, I've reached out to Berserk about doing an official Exceed and official BattleCon modules that are free to play. Currently, they don't have a channel for a freemium type of module, something that is both official and free.
Right. Because it's all
So
DSC right now, right?
yeah, it's all DLC. So they don't have like a $0 DLC.
Mm-hmm.
However, they're looking into options for that, and I think we'll be one of the first companies they contact when they do, because we have such a robust TTS community.
Right. So we'll see. It's gonna be really interesting to
Something
have
I'd like.
automated gauge, automated cleanup. That would be pretty cool. So somebody asks, I believe, no, it's not. It's not even a question. Taxi's just saying. Sorry, Charles Butler's just saying. Speaking of collusion, Millennium Blades Collusion, good game. I like it. Patently good. Has
Thanks.
some of the best character design ever. A character design that nobody in the company ever regrets. Character design that lives and haunts my dreams and my nightmares. It's Van Diesel.
Oh, it's not the bees.
Not the bees. Gosh, maybe it is the bees. Maybe it is the bees. Oh, gosh, the flavor text on the bees is wild. The bees is also pretty interesting because it's just multiple Nick Cage faces.
So each of the characters in Collusion was actually created by one of our playtesters.
Oh wow!
From Millennium Blades. Yeah. So for example, I think Josh designed Destiny Draw. One of our guys, Matthew, designed Captain Cheetar.
Cheetar's my favorite character, by the way. So yeah.
Let's see. Ty, Kira's brother, designed Skillian.
Okay. Is Ty Canadian? Is Ty are Ty and Kira Canadian?
No, he's not Canadian.
Okay, just asking.
Yeah. Let's see, who else? I did Pressmaster. I'm trying to remember the other two characters in the set and who did those.
Aaron G.
Aaron G. I think is another of Josh's designs.
Okay.
And like the Exaltius and Mysterious Hero and F. Those are separate.
Right. Mysterious Hero in F has to be Josh, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he was like I don't like the way Let's Trade works because it's too reliant on other players in the game. So we're gonna make a version of Let's Trade that is, more
aggressive. It forces you to be my friend.
Friendship. Yeah.
You are my friend now. You don't even get that choice. I'm so sad you didn't hit me up for this. I wanted to make a Millennium Blades character. No, well, never.
Yeah, that's a shame. Well,
now Marco just has to wait for Millennium Blades 2 Electric Boogaloo, right?
You need to wait for Millennium Online. Millennium Online, the Blades of Ascendancy.
You mean the MOBA? Oh my
Acronym
God.
MOBA.
Acronym MOBA. Oh my gosh. I don't even think we should be talking about that kind of stuff. But yeah, should
what's
we?
That? Sorry, it cut out there.
Yeah, I don't even think we should be talking about that kind of stuff, right? Or
that's not a project that is in any kind of rotation. It's just something we joke about.
Yeah, it's just.
But if we do other games in the Millennium Blades universe, that's the kind of idea that that we want to.
Right, we wouldn't just make more sets for the same Millennium Blades, or we would just make a new game, right?
A new game in the Millennium Blades verse, right? What would that look like? It would be some other kind of metagame genre. Like maybe it'd be a MOBA game or a Team Fortress type game or some other kind of popular game.
An esports management sim,
a game.
Right? Or something like that, right? Yeah, it would be
something like that.
Right.
So not the game itself, but like your life playing this game.
Okay, Brad, here's my game idea in the Millennium Blades universe. Battle stocks. Stocks are the way you do stocks in the Millennium Blades universe involves actual physical fighting. So
okay.
This is just a hash of Kengan Asura. So have you watched that anime or read that manga? It's wild.
No, I haven't.
So this takes place in an alternate universe where Zaibatsus in Japan settle business disputes by hiring MMA fighters and then making them cage fight each other. It's like, I want to do a merger with your company. All right, we'll settle this merger and the terms by having this buff guy fight this other buff guy. And then they fight.
This is.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I see. So it's just the sports betting universe. Got it.
Yeah. Are you guys, do you guys have a localized BattleCon contract with any Korean developer? And when do you expect 7th Cross to hit Kickstarter? That's 2 questions. I think this is milk.
So, yeah. So the first question is, do we have a contract for localization of BattleCon with a Korean company? Is that what the question was?
Yeah, I think they want, basically, hey, is BattleCon ever going to be in Korean?
So let me preface this by, well, let me just answer this by not answering it and say that if we had such an agreement in place, it would be on the licensor to make their formal announcement first before we talk about it.
All right.
So even if we had signed such a thing, and we do have some partnerships in Korea for Imperial, so we do work with Korean companies. But if we had signed that, it would be on the Korean company to announce it, not us.
All right. And when is 7th Cross hitting Kickstarter? The real answer is when all the other stuff is done.
When the other stuff is done. Yeah, we got a bit to catch up on right now.
Right. We have to finish BattleCon, Millennium Blade.
BattleCon, and the art for Millennium Blades got finished up last week.
Spicy.
Fabio has finished all the art in Collusion, so we're ahead of schedule on that, which is really nice.
Oh, wonderful. So we're getting there,
Yeah.
but you gotta wait. I think Jonathan's question was more about a game client and not the TPS module. As per our previous streams, we're straying away from creating game clients and video games and straying more towards just making board games or board game supplements, right? So if we're ever
Yeah.
gonna make a digital online version of Exceed, it would simply be a tabletop simulator module or something off one of those tabletop modules.
I won't say it's off the table, but it's not. We're not exploring a digital side anymore. We've decided to step back from the digital space.
Right. Make the bees art your "We'll Be Right Back" art for when you cut away on stream. If I do that, Brad, will you be okay with it?
Well, I don't ever see that artwork, so I won't ever know.
Okay. You can also call me Taxi. Jay, I don't think I can call you Taxi. Ty did Rawl, and Kier did Skillian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Raw. That's yeah.
All right.
That's right. That's right. What am I thinking? Yes, Ty did Raw and Kier did Skillian, of course.
7th Cross MOBA, that would be so cool, not gonna lie. It's pretty interesting. So, like, I've in my mind, I've actually had a design for a shonen sports drafting game where you kind of like have 2 phases. So basically, there's one phase where it's the actual sports game that you guys play and stuff, and you do all your cool superpowers, and you like kick the basketball, and then it spawns a demon hellhound or something like that, right? But then the other half of the game would be like a Millennium Blades-esque drafting tournament training arc. So you're like, you draft the Death March, and then you find out in this event that, a senior who was injured 2 years ago but was actually really strong comes back in your next game, and you can use him as an extra player and stuff like that. So, maybe it'll happen.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll
This
pitch
is
it to
like
Brent.
so Blood Bowl. If you ever played Blood Bowl, there's the Blood Bowl League has that kind of thing where between games you can like do random events.
Yes.
Blood Bowl is a lot more slapstick than it is shown in anime. Usually, one of your goblins falls and breaks a leg and he
dies.
can't play in the next game.
Or dies,
Yeah.
right?
So it's not quite so what do you say, empowering as the kind of events you're planning, but
Right.
I mean, there is some precedent for it.
Yeah. So I'd be really into it. I mean, I think the game would be a lot more about the draft than because Blood Bowl is really about the actual like area control dudes on a map game that the thing is. I think I want to focus it more on like the drafting, and then in the actual game, really the actual game is just I activate my shonen move, and the other goes like I activate my shonen move, but it's louder. It's just. Yeah, I don't want to get into
So it's just Monster Prom, but with sports.
I kind of want to just do Monster Prom, but with sports. All right. Esports management sim is surprisingly cool sounding. It is. I play a lot of esports management games on my phone. There's a lot of them. So they're.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like MOBA esports management games, and like you draft players, and then you have a team house, and then you feed them and train them. So yeah, it's one of those. Okay, so mobile games around there trying to get concrete mechanics. It's hard to define at the moment. Yeah, it's a relatively new genre. I agree with Taxi over here. So Jonathan is basically saying that they like the TTS module. So for people who don't know, Daniel or Tierenkin upkeeps the XFS Balanced Breakfast module, which has the most updated sets of characters. We should probably update our official module, or maybe we just say that XFS is official at this point.
Yeah. Well, we can see. We can see. We do need to probably curate our TTS modules a little more closely.
Yeah, for sure. I'm also very shy about asking people to play, but I've never had a bad experience when I do. Max, that's just the community that this Level 99 Games community is all about. I don't know. I remember somebody on Reddit asking maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. It's like, I want to play some games of Exceed because I don't know. Like, I have a person that I play with, right? Is what they're saying. And none of us are good enough to get this game. So we want to try to understand the game more. But my friend doesn't want to play with strangers. So I want to go play with strangers and learn better so I can teach my friend to get better, right? And they were like, I'm kind of scared that if I go in if I go and ask for games, how will people respond? Will they be like, they don't want to play with a new person because they want to play for fun and teaching a new person isn't fun, etc., etc. And then everybody in the Reddit community was just like, what are you doing? Go into the Discord and literally just ask for a game. We will play you. We just play us now. Do it now. And then that person just came into the chat and it's like, hey, I was the person on Reddit. And I was like, and then I go up and go like, play me now. And then we just played. Like, that was
it's a great place to be.
Yeah, it's a very fun community. I really enjoy having all of you here. Any movement on an RPG? Where's my Indine's RPG, Brad? Question mark.
Oh, me. Well, plans have been delayed because we got a lot of projects to do.
Right. But for people who want an RPG fix from Level 99 Games, right now, Power Play.
Yeah, we do have Power Play. This is why you don't have more RPGs, because not enough people bought Power Play. So get out there and buy Power Play.
Buy Power Play. It's great. For people who we should probably still put it on our new store, Brad, because it's not on our new store.
It's not on our new store. So in fact, I don't even know if we have any more at the fulfillment center. I have to check on that.
Yeah, you have to check
before we add it.
Yeah, Power Play is a wonderful game. Like, I will sing its praises for heavens on high. So when I went to the retreat, right, like chat, I got a signed copy of Power Play that was signed by not only John Parmalee, the guy who designed the game, but also Brad. So I have like one of the best copies of Power Play you could ever imagine. Oh,
I'm surprised you didn't have a copy yet, but I guess it didn't really reach saturation to get out there to the Philippines.
It's really hard to get it here, and then like I was in the phase where I was just playing a lot of BattleCon by that point, right? So like I was quote unquote using all my money to buy BattleCon, and I didn't have any more money to buy Power Play.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Well, I think that Power Play is definitely a game that was before its time, but that time may yet come.
Right. I think if we spruced it up and did it again, I think Power Play could be really good. I just need to. Yeah. We need to play a game of Power Play. We need the game of.
I think we need to find the audience. Like that's really what happened. Is we tried to we had all of our fans that we knew from BattleCon, and we're like, hey, here's this RPG, and they were like, what? And it just didn't catch, right? So we have to really understand the RPG market, and that's something that I'm not so connected to.
Yeah, but. It might happen someday, and I just can't.
It might happen someday, and it wouldn't be the only RPG we ever.
Hey Brad,
there's also
can you just give people a small preview of what games of Power Play end up being like? How did our Power Play session at the retreat end?
So I think it was me as a flaming elemental, grabbing a hold of a shrunken head and dunking it into a sarcophagus that was also a basketball hoop that also contained the great etc. ancestor of LeBron James, I think.
Yes.
That was also like somewhat shaped like a cherry Sprite or cherry 7-Up.
Right.
Yeah. So that was how that game ended.
How do we get there? How do we get there? You don't know.
There were dirigibles involved, and Paris Hilton was involved.
Paris Hilton was indeed involved. Paris Hilton used her daddy's influence to conscript an army of soldiers, right? Essentially.
Well, I mean, I guess I would say like a character who very
Similar to
much like
Paris,
that.
yeah.
Similar,
But
but whose dad was the devil.
yes, whose dad was the devil's advocate. I believe there was a
And
scene where a shapeshifter turned into a hawk, flew into an NBA stadium, then literally hijacked the game and threatened to kill LeBron James unless somebody gave him like a magic shrunken head.
yep.
Bane
We were all trying
style.
to get the shrunken head.
Right.
It's pretty off the rails, and it's definitely one of those games that like you're with a group that knows what they're about. It's a lot of fun.
Oh god, it is. It's so good.
Yeah, super good.
Yeah. So let's get into more. Subatomic Snowflake says, "I love teaching new players more than playing a game sometimes." Yeah, it's true. Sometimes just getting to share your love for a game with someone is really fulfilling. I mean, that's literally my entire job. Okay.
Well, and I think it's an important point too that because as designers, we're all really trying to think about how to make it easier for players to get into our game. So how do we make it easier for you to to teach your friends to play this game?
Right.
Because when the game comes off the shelf, it's often like, oh, we got to learn this one.
Yeah.
Or the question of who's going to teach it. And so, like in BattleCon and the new BattleCon games, we've got these big rules foldouts that walk you through step by step. Here's how to start a game, and it's basically the same demo we would give you if we met you at a convention, right? And that's sort of our philosophy: is how do we put convention Marco in the box so that when you open the box, he pops out and teaches you the game.
Right. Maybe we should do like a weird tutorial video where it's like you're playing a game against a virtual AR Marco. Ooh, who knows?
Interesting. That's kind of neat.
Right. Okay, so Soy Milk says Indian's version of Quidditch or something would be nice. I don't know, magical sports show. Like if the shonen sports anime thing had to happen, I don't think it would be in Indians. Because it has to be silly by default, right? So it would
probably be more Millennium Blades type of game.
It would definitely.
I get the idea. Like a true fantasy sport.
Yeah, a true fantasy sport
is a lot of fun.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, what are fantasy sports at Indians, right? We've never really explored that, so I think that would be a really interesting thing.
I think we've talked about it.
Oh, really?
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, so I'll have two more questions, and then we'll end the stream. Marco didn't get any of my gifts. Blame the shipping service, Jackie. That's not any of our faults, and I hate it.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ferdinand's saying, I almost won if it wasn't for the meddling Brad. It's true. Ferdinand was actually about to win the game because Ferdinand was the gate crasher who has the ability to teleport small objects into his hands. So Ferdinand teleported the shrunken head into his hand and stole it from everyone else in the stadium because that's where the Bane situation was happening, and a ghost possessed LeBron James so that this little teenager was about to give the shrunken head. LeBron James basically was possessed, and then LeBron James like drop kicked the kid to steal the head, but then while the head was like mid-air or something, like Ferdinand just took it.
You could go on with this all day.
It
just goes on and on. Then we got to the final, the final ritual where he was about to, take the shrunken head and then Kool-Aid Man out of the wall and snack it.
Anyway, Millennium Blades is crazy, but Power Play gets crazier. is my opinion. So
Power Play gets as crazy as you.
Yeah, exactly. So if any of that sounded interesting, Power Play, just look it up. It's really interesting. Gutok asks, most interesting thing you learned at your retreat. Game design or personal, but not too personal, both okay? I think this is a really good question to end this podcast on. So, Brad, learnings from the retreat.
I learned that Marco in real life is exactly the same as Marco online. There's absolutely no difference. There's no filter. There's no persona. Like, it's the exact same person.
What are you talking about? I'm a Nuben's 3D being. There's more behind this veneer.
There's nothing else except what you already know about Marco. There's just more. Well, I say there's nothing. There's more of what you already know. It just goes on and on. It's like Marco's. It's Marco's all the way down.
Right. As opposed to Turtles.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What did I learn on that retreat? One thing that
how to interrogate.
Yeah, how to interrogate. That's really interesting. That was so crazy. That word. Interrogate. Use it in your lexicon. Use it in your Exceed. Make it your pop quiz trivia name. I don't care. Marco's all the way down. It's really, really interesting because I was like telling Brad and everyone, it's like, oh, you guys finally get to understand what I'm like actually, as opposed to like what my online persona is. And then Josh and Brad just literally look at me with like this face, like, and then I was like, what? And then Josh was like, you are literally the same. And I'm like, what do you mean? I lost my mind. I was like, oh no. So two things I learned that were very interesting. Number one is that Kier and I actually have a lot in common, more than I thought. So Kier is actually the staff member that I probably interact with the least. I've actually talked to Davey. I've actually like worked a lot with Josh. I worked a lot with a lot of the other staff members. But then Kier is just somebody I don't really talk to a lot because he's customer support. And really, the only interaction Kier and I ever get is like, hey Kier, here's the customer support, and he's like, I'll take it, and then that's literally the end of our interaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when Kier and I started talking to each other, Kier and I like hit it off, and we both found out that we both freaking love power play. So at the moment he said that, I was like, we are now brothers in this world.
I think that Kier's influence is a large portion of how that game got published.
It better be. Kier is my man. 3-card Kier, the ultimate. Yeah. So how about game design? Game design wise,
I don't think we didn't do a lot of, I guess to say, design at the retreat so much as we talked a lot about marketing, and we talked a lot about the community, and we talked a lot about our own organization of things. We didn't spend a lot of time designing games, and maybe Josh probably did the most time prototyping, and he could probably say the most about game design. But
right.
But in this case, yeah, I don't think game design was really one of our big focuses.
Well, to be fair, in the marketing talk, we ended up talking a bit about game design, and one of the most interesting insights I learned from that talk was that a lot of your game's success in terms of marketing actually happens at the start. It's not that you create a product, then market it. It's that you have to create a product that's marketable to begin with. You know what I mean? Right? Like, because if you create a game that's avant-garde and so amazing and so awesome that anybody who plays it will instantly fall in love with it, but the game is so incomprehensible that you don't understand what it is, that's going to be really hard to market from the get-go, right?
Yeah. So when we talk about, like, the idea of creating quick start rules for players, so they can teach the game quickly, that is part of the game's marketing, right? That's part of it's late stage marketing, right? It's how the game will spread after one person gets it, or how that person will feel about it after they get it. So it doesn't contribute directly to your first wave of sales, but it will contribute to the later runs. And so so marketing happens during design is an important principle.
Right, and that's one of the best insights I've learned. And so Snowflake just says, what if Marcus just really committed to his online character? I don't think so. I think I'm a very no filter kind of person. In fact, my online persona is just a more filtered version of my real persona, because my online persona is I don't swear. But Brad now knows that in real life I do swear a bit.
No, he's still like, oh, can I swear? Oh, I'm not online, and then he'll do it. It's always preempted by that.
Right. So it's true. It's true.
It's still very Marco.
Right. So, thank you all so much for watching this live stream and asking us anything you wanted. Hopefully you got your questions answered, and hopefully you enjoyed. So if you have any more questions, and if you have any more suggestions for what our next show should be like, or if you just want to help us out, write a comment in the description down below, or literally anywhere. Share this episode with a friend, because it helps us out really a lot. So, because it's not just about, like, for all of you, it's also for other people in the community. So for the people who aren't seeing this live, or for people who want to chat in the comment section down below, do so. Brad, anything else you want to say before we sign off?
No, I think that we're all good, and I appreciate everybody who came out to chat with us, and I look forward to making more games for you in the near future.
All right, so as usual, that's been me, your host, Marco DeSantos, also known as Mechanic, and with me has been my ever amazing, ever wonderful, and ever sweatered
Brad Telton. Thank you again so much, and as always, happy gaming.
Thank you, World of Indians. Thank you, and good night.